Practice that prior to the commencement of our board meeting, before calling the meeting to order, a prayer be given. The board member who delivers a prayer may make reference to his or her own religious faith, just as you might refer to yours when offering a prayer. We wish to emphasize, however, that members of all religious faiths are welcome not only in these meetings, but in our community as well. The participation of all citizens in the process of self-government will help our Board of Supervisors to better serve the good people of Mecklenburg County. We'll call on Mr. Hargrove.
Good morning. Let us pray. Lord of the universe and God of all creation, it is counted a privilege and a blessing to call on your name and to stand before your presence, to express thankfulness for what you have already done and express the gift of life by your grace and mercy through your Son, Jesus the Christ. We thank you for the gift of testimony, for keeping all of us another day and year that we've never seen before and have a reasonable portion of our health and strength. We thank you for the wisdom in the previous year, and we ask today to be led by the countenance of your presence as we move toward a present year. Give us all your great wisdom of guidance, love, understanding, obedience, trust, and observance. If there shall be any malice within our hearts, one towards another, forgive us and remove anything that is not of you from the heart of mankind, that we may be good representatives for our county and its citizens. Render unto us your will and your expectations. Thank you for the men and women who serve on emergency services forefronts for the county and the country and the leaders of this prominent nations. And as always, give us a mind and heart to receive your directions, to be a better and do better than the previous years according to your will. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. At this time, we'll call this meeting to order. Please mute your cell phones if you haven't already. And at this time, let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Slayton, do we want to do our swearing-in ceremony now? Or?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I can get all of the board members to stand and raise your right hand, please. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all duties incumbent upon you as a member of the Board of Supervisors for your election district, effective January 1st, 2024, and expiring December 31st, 2027, according to the best of your ability, so help you God? Do each of you swear or affirm?
I do. I do.
Okay. Each of you to sign here. Sign that top line there. Here is your certificate. I'll get you to sign on the top line.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Saving the best for last. Maybe check my records or something. No question. Thank you. You got what it does and it don't
You're gonna get benefits in here.
get what it does and it's
He piling up. sit right there.
There's your certificate. All right, thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Mr. Sladen, thanks. You're up.
Yes, sir. We are now ready for the election of chair and vice chair of the board. The election is for a period of a one-year term, calendar year 2024. The floor is now open for nominations for the position of board chair.
I'd like to elect Mr. Jim Jennings as board chair, please. Nominate.
And I know what you meant. Any other nominations? If not, I'll declare the nominations closed. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Mr. Jennings, congratulations. The floor is now open for nominations for the position of vice chair.
Mr. Russell, I'd like to nominate my good friend Andy Hallgrove for vice.
You use that term loosely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any other nominations? If not, I declare the nomination closed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Mr. Hargrove, congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Okay. Well, we've got our meeting schedule. I hope everyone has looked at that. Entertain a motion to accept the meeting schedule that's presented in the packet.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion been made. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. The rules of order. Everyone has seen and looked at the rules of order in your board packet. Entertain a motion to accept the rules of order.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Approval of the December minutes. Hope everyone has looked at those. Entertain a motion to approve these minutes.
Mr. Chair, so moved.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries. Additions and deletions of the agenda, Mr. Carter.
Two additions to the closed meeting. They would be pursuant to code section 2.2-3711A1, discussion of a prospective candidate for employment. Specifically, the board will discuss the proposed employment agreement for the new county administrator. And item two, pursuant to code section 2.2-3711A7, consultation with legal counsel pertaining to actual litigation where such consultation or briefing in an open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating or litigating posture of the public body. Specifically, the board will discuss the notice of claim letter that's been provided to the county. So those would be additions to the agenda.
Okay. Entertain a motion to accept the agenda
So
as
moved.
presented.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries. Mr. Hendrick?
Yes, sir.
This is a copy of the final plat for the Pineland subdivision that is off of Country Club Road and Wilson Road in Lake Ross District. It's a total of 17 lots. The preliminary plat was approved some time back. They've been approved for well and subject for individual lots. Most of the lots are average over an acre. And all of them are on a state road. And they do meet the subdivision limits.
Anyone here to speak on this? Hearing none, we will open the public hearing on this. Anyone wanting to speak on this? Hearing none, we'll close the,
Actually, this is a final plat, sir.
It's final plat.
okay,
Public hearing.
Okay.
This is final plat. If you have questions with regards to the final plat. Sorry.
okay. District 5?
Sir.
Entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Motion's been made to accept this, and there's more discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Now we'll have the rezoning for those lots that we approved.
Okay. So
Sorry, sir. for the confusion.
anybody speaking on that then? Hearing none, open the public hearing on that. Hearing no one, public hearing is closed. District 5?
You too.
Sir, this is just a rezoning of,
It's just rezoned, and you can say, okay.
yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, move, you want to move to approve?
Move to
Okay.
approve.
Motion's been made. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor say aye.
Mr. Chairman, also, the motion needs to pertain to the planning commission's conditions.
Conditions. Add that to the motion. Mr. Spencer, you add that to the
I'd like to add
motion
it to
based
the
on the planning commission's conditions.
Recommendation, sir.
Okay,
So moved.
all right. We need to vote on that again, I would assume.
Yeah.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, moving along to District 8.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. You have an application by Sampson Town Senior and Mary Towns Joint Trust, Navix Engineering for a special exception permit to construct a parking and laid-in area. This property identified as county tax number 127-000-05-001 is on agricultural located on the south side of Highway 58, approximately 1,600 feet east of its intersection with Commerce Drive, Election District 8, County of Mecklenburg, reference D Book LR-17-866.
Need a public hearing on that one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody wishing to speak on this? Let me,
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name's Jimmy Epps. I'm Vice President with B&B Consultants. We're partnered with Navix Engineering on this project. It's intended, this parcel and the two following parcels on your agenda all are adjacent to one another. We provided, I believe in your packet previously, a preliminary layout plan for this property. Much like many of the other data center projects in the county, we've worked to establish auxiliary sites to aid in construction to assist in eliminating traffic conflicts in and out of the project. They're typically parking areas for tradesmen. They're also typically temporary construction offices, and at some point during the construction project serve as temporary laydown areas. The application is for temporary use, though it may extend for a couple years for the build. Typically, our stormwater permitting require that it be returned to pre-development conditions upon once its use is deemed no longer needed, and to close out the stormwater permit. We haven't developed that plan yet, but that's typically how these auxiliary sites are permitted and work. So I'm here to answer any questions at the board's pleasure as needed. So thank you.
okay. Anyone have any questions? We'll now open the public hearing on this. Anyone wishing to speak? Ma'am, let me remind you, when each body speaks, we're given 3 minutes. The time limit will be, strictly enforced.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and everyone else. I'm Portia Burwell, and my property is adjacent to what he was speaking on the town's property. I just received this letter in reference to this last week, and yes, the mail system is slow. But anyway, I want to know, when was this brought about? Was it brought about at the last meeting? Because I never heard anything of it. And I don't know if I'm supposed to oppose or approve of them doing this, you know, so I want somebody to explain, well, maybe he can come back and explain exactly what is going to happen, because it's adjacent to my property. So that's basically why I'm here today, because I got this letter informing me that this was gonna take place today, and apparently it had occurred prior to me not knowing about today. So that's why I'm here, for somebody to explain in detail. That's all.
Okay. You want to handle that, Mr. Hendrick?
Yes, sir. The planning commission, the letters was mailed out in ample time, but I don't have anything to do with the mail. But the planning commission held a public hearing on it last month and recommended to the board. And that's it.
Okay. Anyone else like to speak in the public hearing? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. District 8.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say we approve this application according to the Planning Commission's recommendations. And I think, just being on the Planning Commission, I think these next three, all of them are the same. It's just 3 tracts of land all together, and I'm assuming they're just there for storage and equipment and stuff like that. I ring on that property, not to actually build anything. Am I correct?
Correct. No permanent facilities to be constructed there. Temporary parking lot, temporary gravel area for laydown, possibly temporary office trailers. But only for the course of construction of the data center. No permanent facilities are planned at this time or would be part of this exception process specifically for temporary construction.
Okay.
Those buildings that will, like those temporary construction trailers, they will be there for a number of years. Because this is a large site that has been, you have the initial site, and now you have the additional Lakeside 2, for lack of a better word. So you'll look at it probably 10 years that these sites would be there.
I don't have a good projection of that, but it is a multi-year project.
But it could be that long. So I don't want anybody to think it's just gonna be gone in 2 years. It's gonna be there for a number of years. So that's on all 3 of these. It's on all the sites.
Okay.
Because it takes so long to build buildings.
All right, what are the wishes of the board?
Well, like I say, I'm for discussion, Chair. It's open for discussion.
Yes.
My question is this day use only? Will there be lighting involved?
That's a question he's going to have to answer.
We don't have a plan developed to that level at this time. We will adhere to any zoning requirements associated with on-site lighting, setbacks, parking requirements, those sort of things. But that will come through the development process, and that plan will be approved. We'll have to submit a full site plan for approval. So we'll get through that during the design process. I don't have a solid answer to this now.
At the other sites, there have been lighting, each one of those sites for nighttime. Usually it's mostly used during the day, but there are some employees there for different shifts, correct, Jimmy?
That's right, and the site for security of materials stored is typically fenced and gated, and at least for security purposes, not at a level, that would expect a lot of traffic, but at least for security purposes.
Mr. Chair, I only asked it in reference to the citizens' concern. So I think that would probably be something she would, want to be aware of.
Right.
So that's the only reason I asked.
Okay.
This might be later with VDOT, but we all probably know it's gonna be high traffic in and out, maybe moving, shuffling construction materials. Is VDOT gonna make any adjustments as far as turning lanes or anything like that?
That's
That
a
might-
good question.
that might
It's
be
not
a
one
V-
I can answer.
That might be a VDOT question later. I just wanted to bring
Yeah.
that to everybody's attention.
I'm happy to speak to that.
Okay.
So we do show on the preliminary plan a right turn lane plan. We've had preliminary discussions with VDOT, and traffic data and determine if it triggers the warrants for right turn lane or any special excel or decel lanes otherwise, but we'll comply with all three.
Thank you.
That's one of the conditions that's on the application.
Okay. All right. What are the wishes of the board?
Well, I recommend we accept this application according to the planning commission's recommendations.
The motion's been made. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Mr. Hendrick.
You have an application from Sampson Towns and Marytown's Joint Trust Navix Engineering for a special exception permit to construct a parking and laydown area. This property identified as county tax number 127-000-05-002 is zoned agriculture and located on the north side of Highway 58, approximately 1,100 feet east of its intersection with Commerce Drive, Election District 8, County of Mecklenburg, reference deed book LR-17-866.
Anybody representing this application?
These are three adjacent parcels intended for the
Right.
same use. Their acreage is total about 17 acres combined. So same proposed.
Same, okay. I'd like to open the public hearing on this. Anybody wishing to speak? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. The wishes of the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we receive the exception permit for Bullock Corporation.
If the planning commission's right.
Based on the planning commission's
Yeah.
recommendations.
Right.
Add that to it.
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. The motion carries.
Okay, have an application by Sampson Town Senior, Marytown's Joint Trust, Navix Engineer for a special exception permit to construct a parking and laydown area. This property identified as county tax number 127-000-14-2A is zoned agriculture and located on the south side of Highway 58, approximately 1,425 feet east of its intersection with Commerce Drive. Election District 8, County of Mecklenburg, reference deed book LR-17-866.
We'll open the public hearing on this one. Anybody wishing to speak? Hearing none, we close the public hearing. Entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept this application according to the planning commission's recommendation.
Motion's been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
You have an application by Bullock Corporation, Alene Behavioral LLC for a special exception permit to allow for a low-intensity residential treatment facility. This property identified as county tax number 115-000-A-069 is zoned residential R2 and is located on the west side of Highway 1 at its intersection with Big Fork Farm Road, Election District 1, County of Mecklenburg, reference D Book D&P 364-108.
Anybody to speak on behalf of this application?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Board of Supervisors. I propose to,
Oh, could you give your name?
oh, I'm sorry, Alex Boyar, B-O-Y-A-R.
Okay.
Good morning again. I propose to take the Mecklenburg House, which is a former assisted living facility in South Hill, and create a low-intensity residential drug treatment facility. It will be licensed through the Commonwealth of Virginia and accredited through CARF, which is the Commission on Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. It's all required in Virginia for licensing purposes. The majority of the residents that I'll serve became addicted to prescription drugs that were usually prescribed for them for their injuries. These folks had careers and families and are looking forward to getting their lives back again, and that's what I'm hoping to help with. As I mentioned, it's a low-intensity residential facility. This is well past when somebody goes through detoxification and higher levels of support and care and counseling. It's considered a 3.1 level of care, and it involves a minimum of 5 hours of counseling a week, usually 1 hour a day. Our hope would be to give more, but that's a minimum level of care that we would give. Our goal is also to provide additional job training and work in concert with some of the local organizations in the county to help give these folks a new leg to stand on, which I think will be helpful both to the county to get some additional workers and also for helping these folks secure jobs when they go back home to support themselves and to support their families. People in the behavioral space have often mentioned that one of the challenges when people go home after some treatment is they don't have enough time after their detoxification and mid-level treatment to build the strength, the capacity, the resolve to weather the challenges that they are confronting when they're back in their community again. And this level of care, while low intensity, is important because it helps build strength, almost a muscle memory for them to continue their route to recovery. And I feel it's important, and it's not done enough out there, and that's one of the passions that's driving me to do this. That ties into part of the business model I have. I've been a real estate developer for many years, and one of a for-profit real estate developer. But one of the things that drives me is a biblical adage about repairing the world. And if you can repair the world, it makes it better for my daughter, my daughter's children, and so on and so forth. But repairing the world is not just like I've built houses and buildings that are much more energy efficient, but also to help those in need as well, whether it's an assisted living facility where I help take care of somebody in the last few years of their life, to a drug treatment facility where they have many years left in their life and get it back to a state of normalcy where they can basically recover their life where it was before and get back to being a family member and contributing to society. And that'll help future generations of their family going forward as well. So I appreciate the time, and if you all have any questions, please let me know.
One I have, Mr. Chairman, will you be the on-site coordinator?
I would not be. I'd hire a professional management company for this. Yes.
Okay.
I'd hire people that are much more qualified than I. I would get people to sort of fulfill my mission.
Okay.
Do you have a date that you're planning on having this done and ready to be open?
It would probably be in the next 9 months because we have to go through licensing and certification. There are some modifications I want to do to the facility since it's older, and I want to make it more of a home-like feeling than a sterile facility. And then I also want to build a bunch of relationships on the ground as far as with job training and workout programs like that I can offer. So I think 9 months is realistic in theory because it's high priority in Virginia's Department of Behavioral Licensing. I could probably do it all in 3 months. And having been through lots of developments before, I'd rather underpromise and overdeliver. So I think 9 months is much more conservative than the 3.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this application? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. The wishes of the board. District 1.
I move that we accept this special acceptance permit for Lena Behavioral Corporation. Is that what according to Planning Commission as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Motion's been made. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Sladen, I believe, let me get Robert, get these up first. Thank you. Mr. Sladen?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. There are two boundary adjustment requests before you today. Under Virginia law, a county and a town can, by agreement, adjust the town's boundary. The boundary line is adjusted to incorporate into the town property which is not currently in the town. That is done at the request of the owner of the property. It's the county's policy that if the owner of the property does not want to come into the town, that the county will not support it. The board's position is that is more akin to an annexation than a boundary agreement. In this case, there are three adjacent property owners, all of whom want their property brought into the town of South Hill. Interestingly, I guess, all three parcels are now partly in the town and partly in the county. So really what you're doing is taking into the town the residue of those three parcels. The owners of the property are Greenlight Investments, KAC Investments, and Thompson Enterprises. It's a little bit confusing with the map, so I'll hand these around that I prepared and then go over it with you. The property fronts on Highway 138, about a half mile north of its intersection with Route 1 as you head towards Cambridge. I guess it is, it's on your right-hand side. And to repeat myself, the property owners want this. South Hill will have to take action just like you will this evening. I certainly anticipate their support because this enhances their tax base. It gets some more business in the town, but that remains to be seen. If you adopt the resolution and approve or grant the request, you will also be authorizing the county administrator to sign the boundary line agreement, which is required by Virginia law, which I sent to you, and also authorizing me to prepare and file a petition and an order. The boundary adjustment is effected by entry of a court order. Now, you folks have this plat, and just to make it easy, the orange line is the existing town-county line. The yellow line is the proposed town-county boundary line. And again, the effect of the change is to incorporate into the town limits all portions of the three parcels which are not now in the town limits. Based on the board's past practice and willingness to do this, I would mention the plat, I discussed this with Wayne Carter, Larry Hardstow, the B&B surveyor, was on vacation last week. This is perfectly lawful, and the resolution perfectly adequately describes the property with reference to recorded plats. But nevertheless, to make this simpler, I'm going to ask Mr. Hardstow to do a plat which clearly shows the old line being abandoned and the new line that becomes effective. I think that will make it easier in the future. So on that basis, and based on the board's past practice, the staff recommendation would be to adopt the resolution as drafted and presented, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any discussion on what Mr. Slayton has talked about, this boundary adjustment?
No, sir. If all the entities want it, I don't see an issue with it.
We'll entertain a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Mr. Chair, so move.
Motion been made. Any more discussion? Wayne?
You have to hold a public hearing first.
Okay.
Before we do the resolution.
I always get confused on those
Yes,
ones.
sir. We only do these, we only do boundary adjustments probably once every few years. It's
Yeah,
been probably 10 years since we've done any at all.
Just guide me. I'll go in the right
No
direction.
problem. That's what we're here for.
Keep you out of trouble.
All right, we'll open the public hearing on this boundary adjustment now. Anyone wishing to speak? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Ms. Lundy, I think you made the motion.
Yes. Do it again.
You're good.
Okay.
I guess. Go ahead.
Motion would be to adopt the resolution as presented, please.
Staff's recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I make the recommendation that we do the resolution.
Okay.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. The motion carries. Ms. Slayton, you got another one there, don't you?
Yes, sir. Interesting. We have two today. This one is Chase City. This is a request to bring into the town a parcel of land which consists of 59.99 acres. The parcel fronts on Highway 92, about 1.5 mile, I guess it's south of Chase City corporate limits. There are recorded plats. One is 60.59 acres, which was the original parcel. Then there is a recorded plat, which is on your screen now, which shows 0.60 of an acre, which was deducted, and that leaves 59.99. And again, the benefit of this is these are all recorded plats, so the descriptions are good. I'm not sure I'm right on this, but my understanding is the property is to be developed, hopefully, for housing units. But whatever, the property owner signed an affidavit saying that he wants the property brought into the town. The town will vote this evening. I anticipate the town would support it. Again, Larry Hartsoe will be asked to do a new plan, and there are really two reasons for that. One is to separate the 59.99, so you don't have to do a plus and minus to determine what you've got. But more importantly, because this is unusual, this one is unusual, because this land does not adjoin the corporate limits of Chase City. Instead, it's proposed that the property connection between the two be a section of Highway 92, which extends from Chase City to this property. If this were an annexation, you couldn't do it, because the Code of Virginia says you can't do it. They've got to be compact and contiguous, but it doesn't say that about boundary adjustment. I found an action that was taken in Virginia in the year 2005 in Bluefield and Tazewell counties. It did the exact same thing. It was approved by court, and that's been in effect for 10 years now. I think that's precedent that it can be done and that it worked in that instance. I've got a copy, if you care, of the town boundaries of Bluefield, which show Bluefield Road, Bluefield, which is exactly what you're being asked to do here. So Larry Hartsoe's plat will include that section of Highway 92. As far as the operation and maintenance of Highway 92 goes, there'll be no difference whatsoever. It's now in the county, maintained by VDOT. The town does not maintain its own roads, so it will continue to be maintained by VDOT. So the only effect of this action, should you see fit to adopt the resolution as presented, would be to incorporate the 59.9 acres and a strip of Highway 92 into the Chase City town boundaries. We need a public hearing and a motion to adopt the resolution.
All right, we'll open the public hearing now. Anyone wishing to speak?
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm Dusty Forbes, Town Manager in Chase City. This parcel of property will be a huge asset for the town, especially with the proposed development that we're looking to undertake there with the developer. At this point, we're still working with Dominion to try and figure out where these transmission lines are going to go, but the property owner itself is all about coming into the town limits, having town services out there. There's already water, there's sewer adjacent to the property. So getting that part of the infrastructure for him is no issue. But this will be a huge benefit for the town and the county itself. If he does go through with his planned development, it will bring in a large amount of tax revenue for the town, which we direly need. And also, again, will bring in additional revenue for the county. I know this is a unique boundary adjustment, but with the precedents that was set previously, we feel like we are in a good position to make this a win-win for everybody. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in the public hearing? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Ms. Black, will you have any discussion on this? No.
Justin, if you don't get together with Dominion, I know the people building this had said they may not want to do this. So you think right now it will happen one way or the other?
His options right now are if things go the way we would like them to go with Dominion, then the project will go full scale. If it doesn't go, then of course he will downsize because it's not in his plan to have had 120-foot high transmission towers running through the property at the time that he bought it. So he would scale down his proposal and do several different things, maybe warehousing along with some commercial space. But I don't know if the apartments themselves and the number would be what we had discussed initially. That was up to 600 apartments. So he may, scale that down to 200. But it would still be some development going on there at this point.
Right. Are you still having some progress are you having any progress with Dominion?
We are discussing with them. We've had several meetings with Dominion and the property owner at Kess Realty, looking at options for different avenues for this. So hopefully in the next 30 days or so, we'll have another meeting with Dominion and the property owner to find out exactly what will work for everybody. Right. And that's really what we're looking at is what will work. We know Dominion has got to provide the power to its client at the other end. And so we need that. We need that for future development and growth. But we also need this for the town's development and growth. We just feel like this is a great opportunity for all of us to see some new housing, to see some additional revenue for the town and for the county. And, we need it bad. So,
all right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any board members have any comments? We've gotten staff's recommendation. We'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'm so moved to adopt a resolution.
Okay. You've heard the motion. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Mr. Carter, any public comment?
Yes, sir. It was, Mrs. Burwell regarding that.
Okay. No,
That's the only one we had signed up.
that's the only one. Okay.
Thank you, Robert.
Mr. Smith, you're up next.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Y'all should have got our monthly report in y'all's board package. A couple of things I want to go over. We are currently just doing wintertime maintenance on roads, so shoulder repair, pipe repairs, doing a lot of brush cutting and ditching. Next year's our rural rustic projects for the county are 757 All Goods Lane and 668 Dry Creek Road. We're planning on starting them sometime this spring when the weather breaks. VDOT will be watching the weather forecast closely the next 90 days, and we're ready to respond to any winter events if they happen. Hopefully we'll have a winter like last year. So that's all I've got. Y'all have any questions?
Have you heard anything back on those signs on the interstate?
Yes, sir. They're going to be put up this month.
Good.
We're actually receiving. They actually have been made, and we're actually getting delivery on them this week. We're going to. We got to mark you miss utilities, so I expect sometime next week we'll be putting up the signs.
Very good. Hopefully that'll help some.
Yes, sir. Hopefully.
Very good.
All right. Well, thank y'all, and we'll see you next month.
Have a good
Thank you.
All right.
Jason, I believe you were next. Moving right along.
I'm here today because we had issues, and have for a couple of elections at the airport in Clarksville. Parking there was not as well as we thought it would be. Traffic was backed up in the road. People were complaining that they weren't able to get to the polling place in a timely manner. I think it mainly had to do with not very clear marked spots. While Mike Denton was great and was able to host us, the building just is not working. So the plan is to move that precinct to the Clarksville Rescue Squad, and then the same thing in Chase City. We're at the fire department building, and they have been wonderful to work with, but we almost had people get hit in the middle of the road. A gentleman stopped his car to let people cross to go vote, and a car swerved around and almost clipped a lady. With the fire department getting ready to do renovations to that building in the next couple years, we figured we'd go ahead and jump in front of it while we're moving one, get this one moved. They've got a big bay there, the bingo hall, that and parking, so that it would probably work out a little better anyway.
Okay. Any questions for Jason?
So what I'm asking, I guess, is we can either do the certificate of no objection, where we just fill it out and go through the court, or we have the 2 public meetings over the next 60 days. Whichever one y'all want to do is fine with me. I don't.
What's staff's recommendation on that?
Certificate of no objection.
Okay. I definitely think that's the right way to go.
The election tomorrow will not be, these won't have anything to do, I mean,
No,
be at
sir.
the old place?
Nothing will have. We're going to keep all the same polling places we had for November. We had hoped to do this before any election took place, but they sprung one on us. We had 22 days to get ready. So, first of all, I'm up here and I have the floor.
Sure.
I'd like to thank everybody that was able to help get this done. We got on the phone that day. Dr. Warner was able to get the schools locked down as best we could to keep the students safe. We got everybody sectioned off. We've got extra signage out there to point people away from the main entrances to the school to these side entrances where they typically wouldn't use. That way they're not having to be mixed in with the students. Bobby Hawkins for making sure that, we have extra people at the schools and during heavy peak time. So, it was really a all-out effort, and I thank everybody that helped out with this.
I'm sure it was quite an undertaking, to be honest. Do we need 2 separate motions since it's 2 different districts?
Probably just.
I was going to say probably so. Okay. Would District 2 like to make that motion?
I so move, Mr. Chairman. Adoption.
Motion's been made. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Nah.
The motion carries. And District 1.
Same thing, sir. So moved.
Okay. Motion's been made. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Ms. Lundy,
Okay, yes, sir.
Joint Education Committee.
The Joint Education Committee report. Call to order. The meeting was called to order by Claudia London, Committee Chair. Members pledge allegiance to the flag. Roll call. Members present, Claudia Lundy, Mr. David Brinkley, Board of Supervisors, Mr. Glenn Edwards, and Ms. Dora Garner, School Board. Ms. Brenda Blackwell and Mr. Gavin Honeycutt were absent. Also present, Mr. Wayne Carter, County Administrator, Mr. Alex Gauchow, Deputy County Administrator, Dr. Scott Warner, Superintendent, Mr. Brian Dalton, Executive Director of Facilities and Operation, Mr. Paul Paget, Skansky, and the clerk, Mrs. Paula Galamatio. Adoption of the agenda. Ms. Garner made a motion to amend the agenda to remove information items D and E. The motion was seconded by Mr. Brinkley, with all committee members voting in approval. Information items. Clarksville Elementary School project update. Mr. Brian Dalton and Mr. Paul Paget. Mr. Paget reviewed the presentation of the Clarksville Elementary School construction update. Skansky hired F&R inspectors to oversee the construction of the footing for the building. The Bowel Pond is temporary for the construction process and will be turned into a permanent wet pond once the project is completed. The lead time for electrical switch gears is approximately 16 to 18 months. Burns and McDonald's were hired to commission all equipment and support for the new building. Pre-installation meetings with subcontractors are being held, and owners' direct purchase orders are being issued. The project is on schedule for substantial completion by March the 31st, 2025, and final completion April the 30th, 2025. The first point of footing is estimated to take place this Friday, and the project is still operating within the budget. The presentation may be seen on the board document. Members discussed the timing of starting the Chase City Elementary project. Design funding will be included in the fiscal year 2025 budget. Dr. Warner acknowledged the help of Mr. Gorbachev in applying for the second round of school construction grants. The resolution adopted by the Board of Supervisors allowed for the increase in points to qualify for the grant. The amount of the grant will be 20% of the eligible construction costs. Members also discussed the acclimation of the elementary students to a different school location. Dr. Warner credited the teachers, the administrators, and staff, also the parents, for the smooth transition. Playground equipment is scheduled to be delivered on December the 18th. Item B, Alternative Learning Program. Dr. Dalton reviewed the layout of the remodel of the community center location at the new school complex. This is the proposed location for the Alternative Learning Program. The building will receive a new roof, new windows, removal of the brick facade, new paint, new ceilings, new flooring, new restrooms, new septic tank, and new electrical service. The proposed layout may be seen also on the school board doc. The facility may also be used in the afternoon as a meeting place for the agricultural department. The Alternative Learning Program currently employs a teacher with counseling credentials, a second teacher, and 2 paraprofessionals. Work is currently being done to provide more student services. Students are placed in the Alternative Learning Program on a semester basis and are returned to the school setting under the condition that they complete their schoolwork. There are currently 7 middle school students and 14 high school students attending the ALP this semester. 2 high school students will be retained as they have not completed their schoolwork. Student behavior improvement is dependent on the student. Office will be available at the proposed building for student counseling. There will be 6 employees at the ALP, a combination of teachers and instructional assistants. The goal is to have a ratio of 1 teacher / instructional assistants per 8 students. 40 students is the maximum for this building. Members asked about the current ratio of teacher according to race at ALP. There is currently 1 African American teacher, 1 white teacher, who is also a counselor, 2 African American instructional assistants, 1 white instructional assistant, and an African American male interviewing for an open position at ALP. And lastly, C, the La Crosse Elementary School land update. Dr. Warner discussed the site selection process for La Crosse Elementary School. 4 sites were inspected and 1 was chosen. An appraisal of the property was performed and negotiations are ongoing with the landowner for the sale of 27 acres. Ms. London informed the members of a landowner with 25 acres, 3 miles from La Crosse, who is also interested in selling their property. Members' remarks. Ms. Garner, wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Mr. Carter, congratulate the returning members. Mr. Brinkley, wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Dr. Warner, thank the Board of Supervisors for the invitation to join them on Monday. And lastly, Ms. London recommended the Joint Education Committee meet every 3 months unless there is a need to meet sooner. She wished everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and look forward to working with everyone in the coming year. The meeting adjourned at 4:30 p.m. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask Dr. Warner.
I don't blame you one bit.
Any question for him?
Anybody have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Ms. Lundy. Dr. Warner, I believe you're up next.
It's my first experience with a clicker, so bear with me. Ms. Lundy did such a great job with the Educational Committee report, giving you the update on Clarksville Elementary School. I'm reticent to do so, but I'll go through this slideshow so you can see. The overview, of course, is of the construction progress, the schedule, budget, and photos. And here you can see the construction progress up to this point. It started on August the 1st. Demolition of trees, parking lot was completed. Fill and grading of the building pad was in progress. It's completed now. Removal of 10,000 gallon fuel oil tank, which you will see later in a photo. Construction of footings, construction of the biopond, installation of overflow pipe. Issuing subcontracts have been completed. Purchasing long lead items, hiring Burns McDonald was as a commissioning agent, and holding pre-installation meetings with subcontractors. Ms. Lundy alluded to this earlier, that the substantial completion will be March 31st, 2025, with final completion April the 30th, 2025. And of course, she also covered these items too: completing the biopond with temporary drainage, continued site grading, installation of temporary electricity and water, continuing the construction of footings, and starting of the stem walls, beginning installation of stem walls, begin the electrical and plumbing rough-in. There's our construction budget. $28,134,028 is the guaranteed maximum price, with a $32,500,000 overall budget. And at this point in time, the project does remain within budget. Here's some progress photos. These are dated, however, I think this was December the 12th. You can see in the background behind the excavators and the earth movers, you can see the 2016 addition to the building, which was up until this point considered to be the new part of the building. It will become the old part of the building once the construction is completed. This is digging the biopond, and of course, topsoil stockpile, so that we can capture that topsoil once the construction is completed. And there's the 10,000 gallon fuel tank that was removed. Any questions?
Under this construction, will there any additional footage be added to the playground? Because then when they did an addition to the new part, which would become the old part, they took portion of the playground, and then you
Yes.
bought some property adjacent, so you add that back to the playground, because that minimized the playground.
No, that piece of property is not going to be adding to the playground, but the design of the building is as such that there's going to be two playgrounds. Instead of one large playground, there's going to be a playground for the younger kids, pre-K through second grade. And then on the other side of the building, it's separated by a wing. It'll be for the older students, grades 3 through 5. So the amount of space has increased, but none of it has been, the building and the parking lot has moved towards that additional piece of property, which allows in the back more room for the playground.
Great, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Any other questions? You want me to go to the next item? The next item that I have is supplemental appropriations. And I believe that you have this information before you. We have 3 requests These are funds that have been provided by the State Department of Education or the federal government. The first is, request number one is for the $473,327, which is a portion of the All-in Virginia budget that was provided by the General Assembly this past December. In total, $418.3 million of flexible supplemental payments were provided to school divisions across the Commonwealth. The governor set this up to address three different areas, which we'll talk about in a minute. Mecklenburg County Public Schools is set to receive $1.7 million of that $418 million. And the intent of these funds is to assist divisions remedy a mix of student challenges that resulted from pandemic-based school closures and the resumption of normal instruction. The General Assembly's Chapter 1 indicates that the governor released all-in Virginia plans contain recommendations on how the funds should be used, and a requirement that all local plans be approved by the Virginia Department of Education. So the governor and the Virginia Department of Education guidelines called for 70% be assigned for intense tutoring, 20% for the implementation of the newly legislated Virginia Illiteracy Act, and 10% for chronic absenteeism prevention. However, the ultimate allocation was left up to the school divisions, and we as a school division made the decision that we were going to provide 30% for chronic absenteeism, 30% for the implementation of the Virginia Literacy Act, and the remaining 40% for tutoring. The reason that we thought that chronic absenteeism needed to have an additional 20% is because you can't learn if you're not in school. So that goes hand in hand with the learning loss, and the 20% to implement the Virginia Literacy Act simply wasn't enough. So you'll see below in your information that these funds are to be spent over a period of 3 fiscal years. This current year, the next fiscal year, and then the final fiscal year, 2025/2026. So in this year, we're looking to spend $300,000 for the Virginia Literacy Act. Tutoring, no dollars. We have appropriate money through title funding and through ESSER funding that we're still utilizing. And then $173,327 for attendance promotion, for a total for this year of $473,327. This also commits the board supports this multi-year programming of all-in Virginia funds in conjunction with the plan submitted by Mecklenburg County Public Schools to the VDOE in November of 2023. This plan was approved, and we just got word on the 4th of January. Finally, all 132 school divisions in the state of Virginia have submitted and have had their plans approved. The final caveat is this directs the county administrator to include such revenues and expenditures as necessary for year 2 for Mecklenburg County Public Schools all-in Virginia plan for the recommended fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Have any questions? Second request, in the budget enacted by the General Assembly this past September, $12 million was set aside to establish a general fund school security grant program. And this comes from item 138.10.H of Chapter 1 of the Virginia Acts of Assembly. In late November, the Virginia Department of Education announced Virginia school security equipment grants to 98 school divisions across the Commonwealth. Mecklenburg County Public Schools received $105,116 from this program. The funds awarded to Mecklenburg County Public Schools will support security enhancements at the county elementary schools. We're asking that, we're requesting that the Mecklenburg County Board of Supervisors hereby accepts and appropriates the $105,116 in funds from the VDOE with revenues from the Commonwealth and the school fund, that would be Fund number 241, increased accordingly to the operation and maintenance expenditures category of the school fund in the fiscal year, 2023-2024, Mecklenburg County budget for costs related to Virginia School Security Equipment Grants. Do you have any questions? And then final, the third request, in the summer of 2022, the United States Congress enacted the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, Public Law 117-159. Title II of this law provides that $1 billion in one-time funds through September the 30th, 2025 to the states for competitive grants to high-need local education agencies for activities to support safe and healthy students pursuant to 20 U.S.C. 7118. The Commonwealth of Virginia received $17,246,895 from the portion of the $1 billion, and the VDOE made 50 school divisions, including Mecklenburg, eligible for such funds. The activities which school divisions may spend Stronger Connections money is promotion of school safety, which includes a long list of crime prevention through environmental design, technologies, and strategies. The school division intends to spend this money on a mix of technological and physical improvements. This motion basically is requesting that the Board of Supervisors accepts and appropriates $342,738.11 in funds from the United States Department of Education, with revenues from the federal government increased accordingly to School Fund 241. And also to authorize the county administrator and the county treasurer during the fiscal year, this year, 2023-2024 closeout period to recognize a sum sufficient revenue payment from the federal projects category of the School Fund 241 is realized. Revenue for the school security grant revenue. And I could go on, but it's just repeating. Are there any other questions that you'd like to ask about these three allocations?
Mr. Warner, like, just for example, this first one is like $1.7 million. And I'm looking at, and we are hiring more people, looks like, to do that. After the 3 years, how do we do that? Do we reevaluate those positions? And do we get grant money or some kind of money from the state that continues to come for us to do that? Or does that usually fall back, if we keep it, it falls back on local money, right?
The premise would be that we're still trying to address learning loss from the pandemic. And hopefully after a 3-year period, those kids will be through the pipeline and brought back up to speed. The only area in here that we may have to look at in 3 years is for an attendance and truancy officer, which we currently have. We're utilizing the funds that the federal government have provided us for this position now. So you are correct at that point in time. We'll have to reevaluate as to whether we need to continue that or not.
So when you're hiring these people, I assume you would tell them that it potentially could be just a 3-year job, not a long-term.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and that goes in accordance with what we did with our ESSER funds. We hired 26 individuals who are all very aware of the fact that the funding pipeline dries up at the end of this school year, and they can either apply for positions that have become vacant or they discontinue their work with us.
Right, all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good point, Mr. Brinkley. I assume we need 3 separate motions for these supplement. Alex, I was going to you. You have anything you'd like to input here?
I think my input was already provided.
Yeah, I could tell you wrote it. All right, motion 1, we need a motion to take the supplement of $473,327.
I move to accept that motion for us. I move to make a motion for $473,327.
Very good. Motion been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We need another motion for $105,116.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Brinkley got that one. So,
get
motion's
my
been
part
made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. And the last one, 342, 738 and 11 cents. I knew you had your fingerprints on it when I saw that 11 cents, Alex. I'm just
I
messing
would
with you.
prefer not to
You
have
wouldn't-
a sense, but when it comes to the federal government,
Yeah, you're doing exactly the right thing. So, entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, so move.
The motion been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Okay. Our new Commissioner of Revenue, Lisa Wagstaff.
How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Alex wanted me to come in and go over the reassessment process, which we are once again upon every 2 years. Where am I at, Jess? All right, a little bit of history. Why do we reassess and why do we assess at fair market value? Per the Constitution of Virginia, Article 10, Section 2, and Code of Virginia 58.1, 3201 requires that real estate be assessed at fair market value. The best way to determine fair market value is through current sales data. In 2005, the Board of Supervisors passed or adopted ordinance to reassess biannually. To aid in this process, we use a computer-assisted mass appraisal system. This system houses and maintains all real estate in Mecklenburg County. This is a code-driven system. All codes represent category and classifications of land and structures, and tied to those classifications are the rates that are determined by us to be used in the final assessment process. This is just an example of categories and land classifications and how the rates are tied to these classifications. We assess in mass. Mass appraisal is similar to fee appraisal in the sense that qualified sales determine values. Qualified sales are between unrelated buyers and sellers. No sales concessions or special financing. The property has been listed on the open market. When determining if a sale is qualified, we will send out sales letter questionnaires to each property owner who has purchased property. We contact closers agents and we conduct field visits of each property that has sold. The sales data that will be used for the upcoming July 1, 2024 reassessment took place from January 2022 to December 2023. Once we take a look at those sales, we then break them down into different categories. This here is a list of the different categories that we break those individual sales in. And then from there, we break them down into subcategories. We first determined land values based on the sales. Properties of the same acreage range will be assessed at the same cost per acre in similar geographical areas as defined by the sales. Let's see, properties that have detriments will be adjusted accordingly. This is the same process for waterfront, non-waterfront properties, and commercial properties. When determining these values, we use the median cost per acre or lot value. Therefore, some of the sales will be overassessed or underassessed. Once land sales are determined, we then determine structure values. We determine the cost per square foot of all structure classes. We use current sales data, current building permits, we talk to local contractors, and we utilize Marshall and Swift. From this information, we determine the median cost per square foot for each structure. Once that is determined, we then assess replacement cost new. We apply adjustments based on detriments. We apply depreciation, and this here is an example of how depreciation is applied. Once depreciation is applied, we then apply neighborhood adjustments if necessary. And this here in your packets is an example as why a neighborhood adjustment would be applied. It is our goal to establish reassessment values and to be close to fair market value as possible. In the final phase of the process, we test all sales data based on the rates we have determined to be fair market value. We will then adjust rates if necessary based on the testing. We then create reassessment books and publish those to the circuit court. We mail out reassessment notices. We hold informal appeals, and we mail out second notices. All this has to be done by June 30th. Once our process is complete, the Board of Equalization will begin July 1st. The members of the board are recommended by you, the Board of Supervisors, and appointed by the circuit court judge. The members will set for 1 year. The members are trained by the Department of Taxation every 4 years of service, and it shall be the presumption of the board that our assessments are correct. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to show evidence that our assessment is incorrect. The board may increase or decrease assessments, and after appealing to the board, notice is mailed to each taxpayer for their decisions. If the taxpayer is not satisfied with their decision at that time, they may appeal to circuit court. Of course, this is just a brief overview. If you all would like further information, don't hesitate in contacting me, and I'll be glad to sit down with you and go over a little bit further.
Any questions?
No, sir.
I guess it's running very smoothly then.
Hope to mail out notices mid-March, April, first part of April. And then we'll start the process of the formal appeals, and we'll go from there.
All right, thank you.
Thank y'all.
I will tell you all, we're probably one of the few counties, rural communities, that does in-house assessment. There are none that I know of in Southside anywhere that does that, any counties that I'm aware of at all. And most of them do them on a 6-year basis, which then leads to sticker shock, which we used to have prior to this starting back in 2000, approximately.
2004, it was 98, and then 6 years, 04 is when we done it, the first one in-house.
And it makes it much easier.
It does.
You don't get those shock values, which we would have right now if you were doing it on a 6-year from 6 years ago, or vice versa. So you get more of a even bell curve versus this up and down, which you see in a lot of communities. There's a huge uproar in those communities with citizens, and we used to have it here. Why did my property went from $100,000 this year to $160,000 this year? It didn't increase it $60,000 a year. No, it increased $10,000 a year for 6 years. So, but they don't see it that way because it was worth one value that day and the next.
Yep.
I just want to compliment it on that because doing it in-house makes it a lot easier and a lot smoother.
Do you have, when the Board of Equalization meets, do you have a lot of people that come?
No.
Challenge. I didn't think you
I
did.
think in 2000, the last reassessment, 22, we may have heard 15 appeals.
15 out of all the parcels in the county. That's pretty.
Right,
That's,
35,000.
that's pretty good.
They probably come every year, those 15.
I would guess.
Some of them do.
maybe every other year too.
Yeah.
But I do want to realize, y'all realize that really is a benefit.
Oh, absolutely.
To citizens.
Absolutely.
Doing it in-house. Also, you don't get the complaint that most communities do. You brought in somebody from Richmond, Tidewater, Northern Virginia.
Don't know the area.
They're setting the values. They have no idea what's going on. Well, they're looking at the same data that she is in every other locality, but that's not how the public sees it.
So it's almost continuous, ongoing
Yes.
reassessment when you look,
Yeah, when we finalize-
evaluating it anyway.
Right. That's right. So the sales that were end of December 2023, those new sales coming in now.
Yeah.
That would be for the 26
Yeah.
reassessment. So it's
Okay.
an ongoing
Very good job.
process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Carter, I believe you're up next.
Okay, Alex and I will take care of this. Building permits are down some this month. It is getting at that December timeframe, but, we've had a very good run for about 4 years now, with very high numbers. It's probably about time. We see some cutback, although the permit fees and amounts are high because of a new commercial building you had. That's what caused that to go up so much. Zoning permits are holding fairly steady. Animal control, we were able to adopt out or return almost 85% of the animals picked up for the month. We have the sheriff's report. Do y'all have any questions on that? Of course, the largest thing again is people doing 15 miles an hour or above over speed limit. You had a total of almost 2,500 calls of different types for them for the past month in December. 911, you've got that report. Any questions?
We're busy.
Yes, they are. EMS, I did talk to Debbie. The first report is actually the ones that the lieutenants went out on. So this is the first time you've seen this report that shows the 30. They answered 30 calls themselves also for the month. And you see the types. Some of these, they're actually able to help and, for example, they went to 6 of them. They might have been there on the way and got it canceled or whatever else. So that sometimes frees up an ambulance. Total number of hours of training, you had 190 hours in December, so I think that's very good. The first one is Chase City, the 109. Last month they had the high amount. This month Clarksville does at the 120. So if you have any questions on those, it was a very busy month for both squads. And you've got literally we've done over 1,400 calls in the 6-month period. Next, that's Alex.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, we all knew this year that the emergency medical services was going to be a learning experience. And one aspect we've learned is that the ordering of ambulances is going to take a long time. Ordering of ambulances is going to be akin to how we treat the landfill trucks. They're very expensive, and they're very lengthy in duration of time to place the order to the receipt of the item. Right now, the going time frame for an ambulance, if you have it remounted, which is what we are proposing to do, is 24 to 28 months from the time you place the order to the time it shows up somewhere in the county. If we ordered a new ambulance, it would be a 4-year wait until it's arrived. Hence why we were proposing for the remount. The division would like the authorization to place 2 ambulance orders at this time. Currently in our budget, we have a ambulance programmed for FY25 and then in a 2-year increments. Almost certainly that will change in this upcoming CIP that we will adopt, but the only way to even come close to getting an ambulance on the time frame we originally forecasted would be to place that order right now. And that is why the request is before you today. These 2 ambulances would hopefully help allow the service to operate effectively. And we will do it so that when like with the landfill, when the actual item arrives is when we pay the bill. So just because it's approved today does not mean we will going to make payment. Right now, a remount costs about $262,000 a piece. A brand new ambulance would be $380,000. So there is a substantial difference between the two. The recommendation of the captain is for the 2 remounts to be authorized and for it to be reauthorized at this point in time so that we can go ahead and place that order with the appropriate vendor.
Okay. Ms. Hargrove, you have some input on that?
No, the only thing I said is it's rather expensive. I started to ask when the method of payment, when do we payment, or at the time that we purchase it or the time to receive it, but you answered that question. And it's a need. So I guess we might as well do it now because sometimes it's better now than later.
Is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great.
Time frame and price is not going to get any better.
No.
Yeah, the motion has been made on Alex's recommendation.
Sorry, a remount
I'm
is just
sorry.
putting on the frame that's already there. That's all it is.
Yes.
New chassis and everything.
The chassis remains and everything else gets rebuilt on top of it.
But the chassis is pretty good condition. I mean, okay.
Now, when you said this chassis, I'm asking before we
Sure. Well, go ahead.
do they go through and they investigate the lines, all the brake lines and everything else that's there and need replaced, they replace it and so forth?
And most of the time when they do a chassis remount, it's a new chassis and they redo the box.
Okay.
The box stays the same, but the chassis is new because that's what's got the mileage on it.
That's what makes
Get a new vehicle.
Yeah, you get a new vehicle, they put the box on it, they go through the box, they'll cut some of the old stuff out of the box, and that's what some of the stuff you're seeing on here, the compressors and the child seat and all of that stuff. They're gonna strip the box over, but put the same box back on a new chassis.
It's
Okay.
better to get understanding than not know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a new chassis.
It's the first one you've ordered.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's a learning curve here for us, for sure.
Sticker shock too.
Yeah, well, I think everything is sticker shock this day and time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm inclined both chassis are gonna be somewhat same make and model.
If they're ordered now at the same time, yes. If they were ordered at a different period of time, there's no guarantee of that. But we are intending, we do have two that are reserved for us if we go forward with this order, and so yes, they would be.
Okay.
Identical.
I can't say they're 100% identical, but
System this can be
it's gonna, yes,
for,
yes.
maintenance and all.
Yeah.
I know that's the captain's.
Mhm.
That's what she's trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing is sometimes we have volunteers that transport people, and it would be really nice if you had same make, same model as far as, from being familiar with how that vehicle handles.
Yeah. I mean, we are ordering from the same vendor, so that helps on that front.
I know she's trying to do that, our Captain Osborne, she's trying to make everything identical, so when they jump into one, she's been talking to Alex and I both about that, even with our existing equipment.
Good.
Perfect.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we give authorization to the orders of the ambulances.
Okay. I've heard the motion. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Yeah. Wayne,
Next,
you back
I have
up?
Empower Broadband update.
Okay.
Happy to say that Empower now, as of December 27th, has over 5,000 subscribers. If y'all can remember, a year ago, we were trying to get 1,000, and now we've gone up to that much. In Mecklenburg, as of the 27th, they have installed right at 2,180,000 linear feet of fiber in this county. We have 2,950 subscribers as of that time with them. They are steadily working on permits, etc. They are continuing to work on Antlers Road, Cuscawilla Lane, Webb Road, and Belfield Road in our county. That was Rayco. BCS is working in Island Creek along the area with Rock Church Road and Peninsula Drive down your way.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hargrove, also Antioch Church Road and Ponderosa. So you're coming all around your way.
Yeah.
You're smiling, man. Okay. We actually right now have approved for National On Demand right at 295 miles that are approved. Construction this week was 2.6 miles. This is a couple weeks ago. And so far, we've done over 62 miles of construction. They have put in fiber on that. So that is an update with regards to what's being done. Do have an update also on the Batty Grant. We have put in for CAF2 and underserved areas from the Batty 24 grant, we have a total of 4,192 spots still open, which is 153 miles. When I came to you all 2 months ago, our part of the grant was supposed to be $2,179,697 in matching funds, of which 1.875 million was for the CAF2 funds and 304 was for the BEAD areas. We have redone the numbers because a lot of these areas are actually covered by previous Batty grants, other grants that we've done along the way. Your number now, instead of being the 2.18, is going to be $864,448.09. So you literally, and that'll be over a 3-year period. So you went from basically funding $700,000 annually to less than $300,000. So that's a significant decrease. All of our numbers went down when they redid the application from our original. That we want to thank David, Dwayne, and Erica for all the work I think all three of them have done with regards to this and the grants and applications. And those numbers are significantly less because of already approved grants.
Okay.
We won't know anything till later this month, but there's a very fast timeline on this grant, appeals, etc. We shall see what happens in the next 3 to 4 months. Would you agree? Okay. Next, y'all have any questions on this? Good news is always good news.
It's always better.
Good news don't need questions.
Okay, good news don't need it. Alex is up again.
All right. In December, we had one bid opening, and that was for the Old Cox Road project that we are reconstruction phase 1 project. We had one bidder for this project, which is Hames Brothers Construction. They came in with a total bid of $4,438,685. This was slightly above what the engineer's estimated construction budget was going to be, but it is within the total amount of money that we had forecasted for the project. Essentially, what we had was a 20% contingency rate. This bid would then eat up about half of that contingency rate and leave us with 10% left over for anything that would arise. So at this point, we don't believe that any other bidders would emerge if we were to reopen it. The one bidder that we do have is qualified. They've done work prior. And so at this time, staff's recommendation would be to award the bid for the Old Cox Road Reconstruction Phase 1 project to Hames Brothers Construction. Should this be awarded, they would start doing some of the incidental work, cutting trees and, doing the demolition of the subject house in the next coming months. And then over the course of this summer, fall, do the bulk of the construction work, and it would probably be in the spring of next year that they would finish, because there is a winter cutoff period in which you cannot pave roads.
Finish the project.
Yeah, so it's probably going to have to be held over until the window reopens early next year.
Okay. Well, we've been waiting a long time to get this done right here, haven't we? So, any discussion on this? We'll entertain a motion to accept staff's recommendation on this project.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion been made. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
That's all staff has today, sir. Thank you.
All right, let me get to my next screen here.
Chairman's report.
All right, we've got some appointments here. The term of Ms. Janet Buchanan on the local Board of Social Services will expire on January the 30th, 2024. She is eligible for reappointment. Anybody would like to make a motion to reappoint her?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend we reappoint Ms. Janet Buchanan. I've talked to her, and she's willing to serve again.
Okay, very well. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. And the term of Ms. Donna Dennis on the County Planning Commission will expire on January 30th, 2024. She was the previous representative of District 9, but after redistricting, now resides in District 1 with Mr. Jerome Watson. She should be made an at-large member if she wishes to continue to serve.
Mr. Chair, she has requested not to serve.
Not to serve, okay. So Mr. Watson will remain the representative of that district, and it'll just be one, no at-large for that district, okay? And Districts 2, 4, and 9 do not have representatives, and these supervisors need to make an appointment at our next meeting.
I had contacted one person, Mr. James Milton Holmes, but on Friday night, he called me and said he had a personal issue that he could not serve. And then I called Mr. Carl Walker, that's supposed to have been sending a bio in, but we couldn't find it on the computer today.
Okay.
District 4, yeah.
Wayne, are these fine on February appointments?
Yes, I mean, it will be because you still have quorum there, but yes, because they haven't been appointed, so there's no one there to take those places, correct, Robert? So we'll have to worry about that. You've still got 9 members now because Ms. Dennis has resigned, so you're still fine.
Okay. So these districts need to seek somebody out in their district to serve on the planning commission.
I've been made aware. I'm
Okay.
in that process.
All right.
You
Very
have
good.
what's coming up on the January meeting, Robert? No. Okay, that's good. We do know, we really do need to try to get somebody, if you can, for February, so we can go ahead and get back to full strength.
and have those districts represented.
Okay.
Thank you.
We just need a bio, if you can get an email.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, just send some information in about the person you'd like to serve before our February meeting. Be good. All right. And the Seaside Planning District Commission needs a representative. Am I correct on that,
Yeah,
Mr.
Mr.
Tanner?
Jones was the other representative from the county on that. I know we are springing a lot on some of our new members here too, but I'd like to table that until next month, allow everybody time to look at it and see if they would like to do something like that. And,
sure.
Like I said, Mr. Jones was representing the western end of the county, so we'd like to try to get somebody from the western end to.
Been made aware.
I make motions really quick sometimes. So I'm trying to hold back right now.
Yeah, and I've talked to Deborah, and also too, anybody that wants to watch that meeting, it's online, so that way if you figure out whether you think it would be a fit for you, you're welcome to come on there and watch it.
You excited, Mr. Gravitt?
I am.
Nobody said anything, but the body language votes say it's going to be you.
Good answer.
All right, very good. I'll entertain a motion. I hope everybody's looked at the consent calendar to approve the consent calendar.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like a motion to approve this consent calendar.
Motion been made. All in favor say aye. Aye. The motion carries. All right, very good. We're coming down to the wire here. I won't spring this on the new members first. I'll let somebody else go first. So, Mr. Hargrove? not you. You wait. Start, Mr. Wilkes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Don't have a lot really, but I was glad to hear about the new drug treatment facility possibly coming. I think it's a need there. I know it's a need there. So hopefully we can, the man has good luck hiring employees. I mean, that's a difficult market right now, but hopefully that'll work out for him. So I'm glad to see some interest in the community. I think we should support it in any way that we can. Welcome to the two new members. We're glad to have y'all here. I think you'll enjoy working with this board. It usually goes very smoothly. We should all be thankful for that. And lastly, make sure you get out and vote tomorrow. It's unfortunate how it kind of went in such a tight time frame, but everybody stood up to the job, like Jason was talking about. We all got it done as a district, as a county, and just exercise your right to vote. So that's about all I have. Thank you.
Ms. Blocker?
I just want to piggyback on Mr. Wilkinson about the proposed drug facility, because it is sorely needed to assist those who are trying to reintegrate back into society. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gravitt?
Yes, I wanted to, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to reiterate the fact that we definitely have a need for that drug facility, those people trying to transition back into society. I also want to take this time to thank everyone in the advice that they've given me in this whole process. I want to take the time to thank each and every one of y'all for serving this county. It's an honor to be here, and I definitely look forward to working with each and every one of y'all in the future. I want to thank y'all so much.
Very good. Mr. Franklin?
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you, Mr. Jennings, and you, Mr. Hargrove, for being a chair and vice chairman for the upcoming year. I don't see no hiccups going forward and all. We can help you out on some of those motions if you need some help over there anytime. So we can help all you friends and all. We always talk about how good this board works together and all that. And like I say, with that, welcome the two new members. But y'all point of views and things on things. We want you to share them. I mean, you represent those communities, so don't hesitate to bring them up. And I think you'll find that these board members here that've been here will listen here. And again, get out and vote tomorrow. I know the girl that's running for Frank Russ position real well. She's my sister, and she's running on a Republican, but I talked to her, and I think she will take Democrat votes too, Ms. Lundy. Yeah. And the other thing, as you're aware that we are getting ready to do our new comprehensive plan, and I'd like to just make this announcement here. The county has launched the comprehensive plan update, and the first step is to solicit the input of the people of Mecklenburg County. We have a survey that we would encourage you to fill out. Please go to www.meck44.com and click on the participant button. Also, we will be hosting community listening sessions over the next few months. The initial one will be January the 29th in South Hill at 6 p.m. at the Southside Planning District Commission, and January the 26th at noon at the Chase City Rescue Station Bingo Hall. Pizza will be provided. Please come join us and share your thoughts on the county's current status and future direction so we can draft a comprehensive plan that best aligns with the needs and desires of the county. And I really believe this is one of the most important things we have done in a while. I think the way our county has changed a lot over the last few years and the potential of it changing, I think our citizens really need to get involved with this. I think it is extremely important. With that, that's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tanner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, again, I'd like to congratulate you and Mr. Hargrove on being elected chairman and vice chairman. I think y'all will do an outstanding job. Also, welcome to our new board members, Mr. Gravitt, Mr. Spence. I hope Ms. Lundy doesn't chunk you in the ribs too much over there. I think Mr. Brankley was excited to get over here a little bit so he could get a break.
So he could heal.
That's right, so he could heal.
Probably take 4 years.
Also, our new treasurer and commissioner of revenue and our school board members also. Welcome to all the new members. I was teasing Miss Lundy. I know she's got a whole stack of these certificates, so she's gonna get them all framed. But we really do work well as a board. We really try to look out for the citizens of the county. Even if we don't agree, we move forward with it after the vote and do what's best for the county. I'd also like to take a minute to thank our landfill employees. I think over Christmas, I went by enough of those green dumpsters to know how much they had to work over the Christmas holiday. So I do want to thank them because they were behind the 8 ball the whole time. Also to the health department. I think they're one of the unsung heroes sometimes in our county, and I would just like to thank them for their hard work. And also with the election coming up, I'd like to take a minute to thank Senator Ruff for all of his hard work for the citizens of this area. Nobody wants to see change come the way it's coming, but it's coming, and everybody has the opportunity tomorrow to go out tomorrow and exercise their right to vote. And also, as Mr. Brankley said, the comprehensive plan, please take a look at it. Please go to some of these input sessions. Express your concerns. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. And the only other thing I've got, I think it's been advertised pretty well, but there is a rabies clinic coming up here in Boynton. If anybody is looking for their dogs to get vaccinated, and I think you can also buy your dog tags at the same time. So that's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Lundy?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to welcome the new members to our board also. And I'm very excited about the progress they're making on the alternative school, which is very much needed. Again, I ask you to go out and vote tomorrow, exercise your rights, your right to vote, and also wish all of you a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Ms. Lundy. Mr. Spence?
I just want to say I'm happy to be here. I want to say a special thank you to the staff and to all of you. You guys have made it a fairly smooth transition coming into this assignment, so I appreciate that. Please know that that's recognized. Also, looking forward to serving. So to the citizens, I would say that, you know, if there's some concerns, let us know what they are. That's about it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hargrove?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much. Congratulations for your new position. Man, and the other thing that I want to say, I'm gonna try to do my best to be proper and appropriate for the position that has been elected. And I will ask you, if you will, please correct me. Don't let Mr. Brinkley correct me.
I won't be inappropriate. Somehow I think I've gotten caught in the middle here.
Congratulations to Mr. Gravitt, Mr. Spence. The best is yet to come. And we know just by your presentation that you have been some good chosen candidates. And also, I think that's all, Mr. Chairman.
That's all you got?
That's all I got today.
I don't have much either, but I don't have anything prepared. I'd like to thank this board for electing me chairman. Congratulations to Mr. Hargrove, vice chairman. Certainly look forward to working with Mr. Spence, Mr. Gravitt here. I think y'all will be excellent board members on this board. I want to congratulate our new treasurer and commissioner of revenue, Marcia and Lisa. I'm sure y'all will do a fantastic job.
Yes.
My goals are the same as they've been since December of 1999, to serve the needs of the citizens of Mecklenburg County with the least amount of impact on the taxpayers. And I do mean that. I think this board has worked extremely well since I've been on it, and it's been not a lot of different members, but they have rotated in and out, and everything has transitioned smoothly. I look forward to that smooth transition on this board right here. We get things done. Mecklenburg County is an extremely fortunate county in the state of Virginia. Certainly probably the most fortunate county in Southside Virginia, I would arguably say. Mr. Carter and I go back a long way. I'll just leave it at that. We have interacted since December of '99 on this board, and we interacted probably 25 years, 30 years, maybe more prior to that. So anyway, thank y'all, and I will try to make meetings go efficiently and smoothly, and don't get bogged down, because everybody's time is important. A lot of business people involved here, and in the summertime, some of us can't wait to get out of here. So, but anyway, thank y'all, and that's all I have. We will entertain a motion to go into closed session and adjourn this meeting. Am I right on that, Mr. Slayton?
Don't adjourn yet.
Don't adjourn, okay.
No, sir, just convene and close.
Motion to go to closed session.
Motion's been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We will take a 5-minute break. Sterling certified.
Thank you.
Andy, Sterling, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we
Give-
are now in open session. And Mr. Hargrove, you have a motion to make?
Yes, sir. I would ask if our lawyer would move to make that motion so to be clear, that of clarity.
The motion would be to approve the contract as drafted and authorize the chair to sign.
That's
all
my
you need.
motion.
Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Congratulations and welcome.
All yours.
You back in the next month.
You kind of like,
What you asked for.
Oh,
I've
committed that phrase to memory, trust me.
kind of like the dog chasing the car. You done caught it, you don't know what to do with it. You probably know what to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna be fine.
That's all that we have, sir.
All right.
Hey, Mr. Jennings, can I mention one more thing?
I'm sorry.
I've actually got an email.
Back in.
I just got an email from someone that was watching the meeting, and they said they hoped this comprehensive plan thing, these 2 dates, how are we going to advertise those? Are we going to put them on
On
the
the website.
Well, will it be in the newspaper or anything? I think we need to really make sure that's really gotten out there where people can see it, because everybody don't probably look at our website,
We have started with electronic means of distribution first. So it was posted on our Facebook page on Friday. It has been shared by several individuals, and I encourage all of you, if you haven't done it, to do so. It has been posted already. I saw somebody reposted it in the Southfield Community Information page. Our intent is to have a rigorous posting schedule over the next few days. We have graphics ready to go. They're going to be posted. They're going to be posted both from our page and in these community information pages, which have the largest critical mass. And we certainly would hope that the newspapers will put it in there if we need to, whether from coverage stories or whether from advertising.
I would say just send it to them anyway and say, hey, we want this in there.
Yeah, but we do definitely intend to promote them. And like I said, this is not going to be the only community information session. These are the first ones, but not nearly the only ones.
Right. All right, thanks. That's all.
Okay.
Hit again.
Hey, you can hit it again.
Can I hit it again?
Hit it again.